Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpol and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah. Well, hello, dummies, and welcome to episode number 142 of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim Yogi Van Stratton. Alongside me, it's Rodney Newpol. What?
You are feeling it tonight.
Yeah. But do I sound like I'm feeling it, or is it
you wall?
What is it?
Boom.
Yeah. Let's just put it this way. There's a reason why this is our last show before an extended spring break.
Are you telling the listeners why or no?
They'll find out. They'll find out eventually.
Okay. I mean, we're taking a 3-week spring break, and you need it. You definitely need it. You need yourself.
I do.
A little R&R, maybe a little beach time. I don't know. Who knows? But anyways, welcome. I'll take the reins. You take a little nap here. Welcome to Stupidest Sports Show, episode 142. And I put the agenda together, and I got home like 25 minutes ago. My daughter had a softball game, and I was like, oh, it's my night for the agenda. Whipped a few things together, but
it looked great, man. It was thorough. It was comprehensive. The order made sense, which I love. It was great.
I mean, after the NCAA tournament, I know Masters is fun for a while, not when your teams suck, and we'll get to that in a minute. But like, I guess with the NBA and NHL playoffs, but there's kind of a lull after Sunday, right? Because like playoffs have a few days off. Maybe not. Now that we got play-in, I guess not. Play-in games will start probably Tuesday. So no, we don't really. I don't know. Like I'm still on the NCAA tournament's over. I'm still kind of like looking for the next big thing. Masters doesn't do it as much for me as it does you. I know you love the Masters. You love the Masters.
I do love the Masters. I'm reminded constantly of how much I desperately want to be at Augusta and like win one of the, because it's like a lottery, right? To get selected and actually go. And I'm incredibly jealous every year of those who get the opportunity to see the Masters in person and just to experience it once. And I think once in my life, I've tried every year.
Really?
Yeah, just once. I would like to be able to go and have that opportunity and have that air of superiority around me just to say I am at Augusta National while you, not you specifically, but just you, others are not. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I got you. I didn't realize that you try every year.
Yeah. I mean, might as well, right? Like, hey, let me tell you this, Rodney. You can't go if you don't try. So
that's true.
Yeah, I try, but it doesn't.
That's true.
Work. It doesn't work. But I think eventually I'll have my time.
Yeah. Want to thank our partners over at Gateway Sports. If you love sports at every level, there's only one place you need to be. That's gatewaysports.com. They cover everything for the preps, college, and the pros. Real coverage, real voices, real passion for the game. From live shows to podcasts, Gateway Sports connects a region like nobody else. Proudly powered by First Form. And recalibrate. Visit gatewaysports.net. Every level, one gateway. And that, my friends, is from Gateway Sport. It is the picture of myself and you last August at Busch Stadium. Cardinals, Yankees. That's exactly what we wore. And you aged quicker than I did.
Very, very, very much so. Yeah, I look significantly older than you, but like not the type of older to where I look wiser. I look older and crazier. Like I need to be reined in immediately and drug tested. So
yeah. Well, thank you, Gateway Sports, for the picture. They brought in Rob Raines. He does some work in the St. Louis area. He's on board with Gateway. I'm sure they're going to make that announcement soon and what he's going to plan on doing, but kind of a cool deal there. All right, let's remind you, After tonight's show, we're going on an extended spring break, 3 weeks long. So no show Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday. We'll be back 3 weeks from Tuesday. So 19 days. A little rest and relaxation. And we'll be back then, and we'll talk about a lot of cool sports stuff then. But let's get to the Masters. All right, Masters. Round 1 update. So I don't know. I know you've been busy today. How much of the Masters did you watch? I mean, you had it on all day, right?
Enough. Yeah, enough.
You,
it's I'm dedicated that way.
Were you excited? Did it fulfill you today?
Yes. All right. As you know, I've said this for many years when it comes to these major tournaments. I hate when a leaderboard at a major is full of scrubs. Now, obviously, in order to be in the PGA Tour, in order to be playing one of the 85 golfers, at Augusta National, you have to be very, very, very excellent. I understand that, but you should only be on the leaderboard if you've put in years, if you have a reputation of being one of the game's best. So I'm very pleased that our leaderboard after one day shows guys like Rory McIlroy, Jason Day, Xander Schauffele, Patrick Reed, Justin Rose, Scotty Scheffler. That's your top 10 right there. And yeah, the Kurt Kitayama will sneak in there. He's not bad. He's not bad. No. He's top 35 in the world. But those are the names that I want to see. I don't want to see, feel good stories at the top of the leaderboard at Augusta. I want the big dogs. I want them fighting early. I want them fighting often. And I want Sunday to be a culmination of those guys coming down to the wire. So yeah, we're off to a very, very good start. So that's what I'm very excited about.
Yeah, Sammy Burns, Rory McIlroy lead at 5 under. Kitayama, Day, and Patrick Reed are tied for third at 3 under. Shane Lowry, Xander Schauffele, Justin Rose, Scotty Scheffler kind of round out the top 9 there. They're 2 under, and then a whole slew of guys 1 under. Let's talk about a few guys that are up against it. They're in some trouble. Now, it's top 50 in ties, and right now the cut line sits at +3. I always think, okay, if it's +3 on the first day, you could say probably going to be +5, maybe +6. Things change, weather changes things, but a lot of times it's around there. But anyways, but these guys are in trouble after one day. Here they are. Jon Rahm, +6.
Yes.
A lot of people thought he had opportunity to win this thing, and he's in big trouble. Another guy that's in big trouble, 66-year-old Fred Couples.
Yeah. So you alerted me to what happened with Fred Couples. Okay, so Fred Couples, 66 years old. He's a Masters champion. So yes, and for those who don't know, if you win the Masters, you are invited to every other Masters for life. You could play the Masters as long as you would like to. And speaking of that, by the way, Vijay Singh, who was our Remember guy a couple days ago, he is in the Masters. He was 7 over today, but that's okay because Vijay Singh is what? He's also in his 60s now.
Oh yeah.
So it's okay. It's allowed. But yeah, so Fred Couples, I have it on in my office, and I see suddenly an old man, very gray hair, who's shooting 2 under, 13 holes through.
Yeah.
And just I was all this talk about Jon Rahm, oh, he's so good. Jon Rahm's 6 over. Bryson DeChambeau's printing out clubs, 3D printing them, blah, blah, blah. And he sucks too. And you got Fred Couples, who just rolls out of bed and goes and shoots 2 under at Augusta National. And I'm like, wow, amazing. What a story. That's the last I heard. And then come to find out that Fred Couples decided that his old body didn't want to play any more golf for the last few holes. Because, Rodney, why don't you go ahead and tell me? So Fred Couples was 2 under through about 13 holes or so. And let's put it this way. That is not where he ended the day.
Yeah, so he was 2 under after 13 because he birdied 13 after bogeying 10. That was his first bogey was on 10. So he's one under at that point, birdied 13 to go back to 2 under. He parred 14. So he's sitting at 2 under with 4 holes to go.
Yeah.
Well, hole 15, par 5. It took him 9 strokes. So he went from 2 under to 2 over. Well, okay, the bleeding wasn't done yet. He had a par 3 on 16. He went a 5. Now he's 4 over. Oh, well, the bleeding's still not done. Hole 17, par 4. He went 6. He is now 6 over. He actually parred hole 18 to finish 6 over. So he shot a 78 on the back 9. Fred Couples in big trouble to make the cut. I feel bad for him.
What did you do?
Like when you're 66 years old, like 15 holes should suffice. Like I'm playing 15 holes today. It should be good.
And
anyways, he's in trouble.
You know, Rodney, we've talked many times about this Tim curse. And, you know, I made the joke. Oh, I almost played 66-year-old Fred Couples. I went John Rahm instead. And then it turns out that right after I send that, Fred Couples just totally nukes the round and finishes with the exact same score as John Rahm.
Yeah. It's pretty wild, but he's in trouble. Patrick Cantlay, 5 over.
I'll never play Patrick Cantlay again. Like I think he is one of the people who I've officially like drawn a line in the sand. Like I will never touch him no matter what. Like I'm so done with him. In general, I would never consider him in any tournament ever until my dying breath.
Daniel Berger, 4 over. Danny Willett, 4 over. Bryson DeChambeau, 4 over. Bubba Watson, 4 over.
So so Bryson DeChambeau, who
3 over. Go ahead.
Who? Siwoo? Oh, sorry. I opened the gorgeous, wonderful Masters app, but there's an autoplay feature, and I'm old, so I have my volume on. So Bryson DeChambeau. There's a whole big thing about, so he printed out a 5-iron with a 3D printer, and he used that for his round today. He shot 4 over.
Yeah, maybe not use a printed club.
Like, how about this, man? Hey, here's an idea, Bryson. You get paid how many millions of dollars from these sponsors? How about swing one of their damn clubs? Don't print your own. And maybe you'll actually, I don't know, shoot better than 4 over. Like, he's the biggest meathead and biggest nerd that I've ever seen on a golf course. I'm so proud of him.
Simultaneously, both those, meathead and nerd. Yeah. Yeah,
he had two birdies all day, and he had 3 bogeys and triple bogey. Sorry, triple bogey on 11. Amen corner. Nice job, Bryson. Just like useless.
Yeah. Dustin Johnson 1 over, so he's above the cut line right now. Justin Thomas, Brooks Koepka, Jordan Spieth, all even. So they're looking okay going into the final day or for second day, as long as they don't completely bomb. You know what? I like the story, and I like this guy, Gary Woodland. 1 under top 10 right now. I mean, the dude only had a brain surgery and PTSD at the same time. I mean,
Tommy
Fleetwood. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say with Gary Woodland. Yeah, he won a tournament a few weeks ago. It was his first win in any tournament since his U.S. Open in 2019. Like an incredible story. So like seeing him sort of return to form this late, and like now he's contending at the Masters. He's not going to win it, but like seeing him there, like he's one of the good guys in golf for sure. very happy. Like after I just spewed anger at all the guys that annoy me, like Gary Woodland is one of the guys that I'm very much a fan of, and I'm happy to see him contending.
Tommy Fleetwood kind of annoyed me today. He was 4 under after 9. I bet him. I picked him to win it, and then he bogeyed 10.
Yeah.
Went on to bogey 16 and 18 and finished just 1 under. Not a bad round. I'm not mad at him for his round. He had so much promise that he was going to be at the top of the leaderboard, and he's not out of it. It tied for 10th, but that was the guy I think missed some opportunities. Rory actually finished quite strong. Rory was 2 under going into 13, and then he went 3 straight birdies to get to 5 under. Rory only had 1 bogey all day. Back.
Like early, like hole 3, bogeyed the par 4 there, and then just like super clean golf. I mean, 13, 14, 15, like, and obviously, I think the big thing with Rory too is like every single par 5. So there's 4 par 5s at Augusta. He birdied all of them. So, and that's sort of what you have to do in like, it's pretty simple. It's you capitalize on the par 5s. Like the winners all do this. So you capitalize on the par 5s and you avoid 3 putts, and you like have to scramble well. Like that's really it. That's really it. You score on the par 5s and you're able to save yourself on the other holes. Like you're gonna have a really good score.
Yeah.
Like that's it. And that's exactly what Rory did today. And it's funny, like I think after seeing him win last year, I wasn't really thinking about him at all in the sense of like, okay, he got the monkey off his back. I think, the pressure, like, I don't think he really has that chip on his shoulder, but maybe that was the wrong approach. Maybe the approach was, okay, now he's not in his head and now he can just go out there and play. And it's basically, he's like swinging with house money now because he has the career Grand Slam. He won Augusta last year. Clearly, like, he plays very well at this course. He just couldn't finish. But, like, so now you got a Rory McIlroy who isn't feeling all that pressure, who could just go out there and play and perform and maybe be a back-to-back champion. That would be amazing.
It would be, yeah. All right, let's go to Tim. Why don't you tell the listeners how our team's doing? Our Masters team is
all right. So, you want the good news or you want the bad news?
Let's start with the bad news.
All right. Bad news is we have 6 guys on our team, none of whom are under par.
Okay.
The good news is we have 6 guys on our team, and none of whom are below the projected 5 over cut line. So just a reminder that Rodney and I on Tuesday, we crunched the numbers, we did all the research, all of the things necessary that it takes to take down these $1 million contests on DraftKings. And we turned out 6 guys. Of course, Bryson DeChambeau, that was Rodney's pick. That was our team leader. Victor Hovland, who, by the way, in our contest here, Victor Hovland was at sub 6%. Yeah.
We need him to take off tomorrow.
Terrell Hatton. Yeah, and let me give you the ownerships, too, for these guys. So Bryson DeChambeau was just under 20%. Victor Hovland was 5.8%. Terrell Hatton was about 7.5%. Siwoo Kim, who was my pick, that was our last guy. He was 17%. Cam Smith was 5.6%, and then Max Homa. Are you ready for Max Homa? 2.5% ownership. So those are our 6 guys.
And he's our best player right now.
So far, yes. So yeah, we have these 6 guys. We built the team. I was like, I love this team. There was risk, but it was a boom or bust team. So far, it's mostly bust, as is the case typically with these golf lineups. But hopefully, these guys can go out there tomorrow. They shook the cobwebs off. Go out there and like, if all of them are even par, I think they'll make the cut.
Yeah.
But ideally, I'd like them to, get some birdies, rack up some points, maybe put themselves in contention a little bit because I want to sweat. Like you and I were going to hang out on Sunday, watch a little bit of the final round. Like I very much want to be stressed out of my mind during that round because of all of the thousands of dollars potentially at stake.
So I'm going to make a prediction.
Yeah.
This team at the end of tomorrow will have all 6 guys in the top 30.
That's a bold prediction. You know what? I'm glad you're making it because if I make it, everything's gonna explode. So yes, I'm glad it's you.
The problem is they might all be like between 15th and 30th, but they're all 6 going to be in the top 30. But you can handle that after 2 days because you got 6 guys across the cut. And now you have then Saturday's moving day, and they all start moving into contention. All 6 guys top 30 heading into tomorrow, which means Bryson's going to have to start picking it up. Right now, top 30 would be like +1, so he's going to have to he's going to have to shoot under par tomorrow to get that done. But I have faith. 3D printer had to make a couple adjustments. He'll be back.
Yeah. He's in the lab, and like the expression, like, oh, he's in the lab. For normal golfers, that's just them on the driving range. For Bryson DeChambeau, that's an actual lab printing out another club to use tomorrow.
Right.
By the way, does it upset you that Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy are both sub 10% ownership? Like Scotty Scheffler's 9%. If Scotty Scheffler, if you knew Scotty Scheffler was 9% owned, would you have been like, okay, yeah, let's just put Scotty Scheffler on the team?
I mean, he was like 14.
He was very expensive.
Very.
Yeah, he was $14,000. Rory was 11.6. He's at like 8.8%.
$2,400 difference there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like okay. So if I said, hey, so you could get Rory McIlroy at 11.6 at 8.8%, or you do what we did, which is Bryson DeChambeau at 20% ownership for like $1,400 less.
And obviously Rory's 9 strokes ahead, but yeah, in hindsight, I probably still do what we did.
Yeah. Process. Yeah.
Rory under
process is right.
Rory under 10 is pretty good.
Yeah. And like the ownership there surprises me. And it makes me reevaluate some things. I just assume like, oh yeah, these guys are the best. These are the absolute best golfers. Of course, they're going to be popular. I guess not. I guess that's not how it works anymore.
No.
Yeah, because I think the highest owned players, Matthew Fitzpatrick was the highest owned. He was just under 26%.
Wow. Okay. What was
John Rahm was 25%. I have no idea. John Rahm was 25%. How's that going out? John Rahm, so 25% ownership, and he gave them 3.5 points on DraftKings today.
So see a quarter of the field.
Yeah. So, and Min Woo Lee is 23%. He gave people 5 points today. So, yeah, like John Rahm, Min Woo Lee lineups. Yeah, they're toast. They're toast.
Toast. Yeah. Not good. Not good.
Not good. No.
Shall we move on to baseball? Let's move on to baseball. So
Yeah,
2 weeks. 2 weeks of the Major League Baseball season come to an end. We kind of did the gas or ass after 1 week. We don't need to do that again, but boy, I'm going to start right here. The Detroit Tigers might stink. They might stink.
So it's so funny. As you know, we have a friend of ours and a loyal listener, Hockey Guy Dan. And Hockey Guy Dan likes to send me like Minnesota Twins things about like how bad the Twins are and all this. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, the Twins must be just like so dreadful. What an absolute disaster. Surely like they're the worst team in the division right now. not only are they not the worst team in the division, but they had a 4-game sweep against the Detroit Tigers,
Yeah.
who are now 4-9 on the season. I mean, this is a Tigers team that was probably, of the 6 divisions, maybe like only the Dodgers were the ones that were probably more picked as a favorite to win the division than Detroit. Like, Detroit winning the AL Central was obvious. And instead they're 4-9. They've lost 5 in a row. 4 of those were against the Twins. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because they should be a lot better than they actually are.
So before I give you a quick stat, let me ask you this: are you more concerned about the 4-9 Detroit Tigers or the 4-9 Seattle Mariners?
Oh, I'm probably more concerned with Seattle, to be honest with you, because like, I think Detroit's pitching has let them down, but like, Seattle's offense has 60 homer Cal Raleigh, has MVP candidate Julio Rodriguez, and then Josh Naylor they gave a big contract to, and like, they made a lot of improvements in their offense. They've scored 40 runs in 13 games. They are the lowest scoring team in the American League, and only the Reds have scored fewer runs than them in all of baseball this year. Like, so, yeah, that's kind of a concern if you're the Mariners in a division that you are supposed to be. Again, like, the Mariners are the favorite. Like, I picked them to go to the World Series this year. That team should be a lot better. So yeah, I would say Seattle is more concerning, and especially Cal Raleigh too. Like, dude had 60 homers last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, quite a lot. Do you know how many homers Cal Raleigh has this year?
Does he have one?
Yeah, he has 1 homer. He's hitting 143. He's got a homer.
That's not good.
No, like Julio, who's always a slow starter. Like, Julio Rodriguez is always a slow starter. But like, there's slow starts, and then you're hitting 143 with no homers and 2 RBI. You have an OPS of 393. An OPS of 393. Dreadful. Josh Naylor is hitting 104 with an OPS of 277 with no homers. Those are like, that's the heart of your lineup. Those are your 3 best hitters.
Let me ask you this one. All right, so there's 9 teams in the National League over 500 and 3 in the American League. As an American League fan, are you concerned April 9th that the National League is that much better than American League, or is it just early season, little bit of puck luck per se?
I would probably have to look to see sort of how the schedules align, but stuff. But I would probably attribute it to puck luck, because so of the National League teams that are above 500, I'm gonna just rip them off, and you tell me, like, legit or no. And I'm gonna pick them specifically. So the Miami Marlins, will they finish above 500? Okay, Cincinnati Reds, Pittsburgh Pirates, your St. Louis Cardinals, Arizona Diamondbacks. It's teetering. Okay, and the only ones I didn't mention were Milwaukee, the Dodgers, the Mets, and the Braves, who are like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So over half of those are teams that I don't think anyone expects to actually sustain. But like, I would be pretty surprised if Seattle is totally implodes and like they finish below 500. I'd be pretty shocked if like the Blue Jays finish below, like the AL East will not have one team that has a winning record this year. Like, it's not going to happen. So they'll things will turn around. It's early. That's how baseball works. But like, there are several teams that do, I think, have legitimate worries, and Seattle being one of them, Detroit being one of them. eventually you got to just switch gears and get going.
All 5 teams in the National League Central, 500 or above. That's a good start. Individual players, Chandler Simpson off to a great start, batting almost 400 for the Rays. This Chase, what do we call him? DeLauder? Chase DeLauder?
That sounds good to me, man.
Him and Shea Langoliers lead the American League with 5 home runs. National League, Andy Pajes hitting .413 to lead the way there. And I got to mention Drake Baldwin and Jordan Walker tied for National League in home runs with 5. Jordan Walker hit 6 home runs last year. I know we talked about Jordan Walker on Tuesday, so I don't need to talk any more about it. But he leads the league in home runs.
Like Jordan Walker. So I want you to pull up someone for me and tell me if this is like an accurate comp for Jordan Walker. So like a very, very hyped prospect, raw, very young, who, I think definitely struggled for a longer than people thought in the majors before everything just sort of clicked. So Joe Adell from the Angels, he was a top 10 pick, right?
Yeah.
Top prospect, debuted at 21. First year was COVID year. Like in only 38 games, he only played 38 games. He had a negative 1.4 WAR. Like awful. He was barely above replacement level. Then negative WAR the next year. Replacement level, and then suddenly, last year, 37 homers, 98 RBI, and just like it just clicks offensively. And this year, like again, clicking offensively. Like it's just something happens where it's like, okay, like this is the post hype, and it finally just like hits. And I feel like Jordan Walker is having one of those where it's even better because Jordan Walker didn't spend 5 years in the majors or so before like things finally clicked. Like Jordan Walker was debuted in 2023 at 21, was a negative WAR player, was a super negative WAR player in 24. In like he was almost like a full win below replacement in only 51 games in 2024. It's bad. And then like last year was really bad. And now this year, he's already at over a win above replacement in 12 games. So, and then it clicks. It clicks, and you just see the difference and, like, the elevation just, like, it's like, oh, yeah, this is why they were such a high pick. This is why they were considered a top prospect, one of the best offensive prospects in baseball, like, before they debuted. It all just it makes sense. And, like, I maybe it's a surprise to some, but like he's 23. He's only 23 years old. Like there was always going to be a chance that things made sense, but maybe it would have been when he was 26 or 27, and the Cardinals would have given up on him well before then. But it's very, very good for the Cardinals that it happened now to where they don't have to like give up on him and watch him succeed somewhere else, like Randy Arozarena or take your pick with anyone else that they've had that happen to.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, that's been a good start for him. Let's move on. I'm going to move on to NBA because I want to get NBA and NHL here in the next 15, 20 minutes. So some games tonight. Raptors beat the Heat. That was a big play-in type game. Knicks, Celtics, and the Rockets beat the 76ers. So a little update from the Tuesday show. It appears that we're going to get the Celtics are still going to be the 2. They're 2 games up on the Knicks with 2 to go. The Knicks are a game ahead of Cavaliers for the 3 spot. So looking at the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 position East, the Hawks and Warriors are tied for 5th. The Magic are 1 game back, and the 76ers and the Hornets are 2 games back. No Joel Embiid. Hornets, we talked about them several times. If they can find a way to beat the Pistons and Knicks, they might be able to get out of that 9 spot and only have to win one of these games, which I think is huge. Philadelphia's got the Pacers and the Bucks. So right. I'm not sure we're going to get them. The Magic have the Bulls and the Celtics. So, we kind of keep going right to the Hornets here.
Yeah.
They're still in trouble, and they're still looking like they're going to be that 9th seed. But the good thing is they are 2 games ahead of the Miami Heat with 2 to go. So they're going to host that game. They're going to host the Heat.
Mm-hmm.
But Hornets kind of up against it. They're probably going to have to win 2 games to get into the playoffs.
I'm really, really, really hoping it's not the case, but I feel like this is all leading to the Charlotte Hornets. There's all this hype they've had this season where they spent weeks as one of the best teams in basketball, only to lose to a very mediocre Miami Heat team just based on experience. Like they just get like Pele Larson has 26 points and Miami wins. Like it's like this is what it feels like it's coming to. I would love for Charlotte to actually make the playoffs and have them go 7 games against Detroit. That'd be great. But yeah, I think I know what the Heat do when they're in this spot.
Steph Curry didn't play tonight against the Lakers, so we got robbed of a Steph versus LeBron situation, which I know late in the year, I don't know how big of a deal that is, but anytime those two are on the floor against each other. The West now, since Tuesday, the Rockets are now a half game ahead of your Lakers, which means they would host the Lakers in the first round. Lakers, Rockets, still, I guess, within shouting distance of the Nuggets at a game and a half out. But 1 and 2 is definitely up. It looks like Phoenix has the 7 locked up. Golden State appears to be pretty much locked up at the 10. And then we got Clippers and Portland in between fighting for 8-9. Not a lot of movement since Tuesday, obviously, but we're starting to get the final few games here. Tomorrow in the NBA, let me just run down these games because there are some doozies. And I mean, like, opposite, like doozy bad and doozy good. Here's tomorrow's schedule. It's a full schedule.
Yeah.
Heat at Wizards. Who cares?
Oh, bad.
Pistons Hornets, pretty good game.
That's a good game.
Cavaliers Hawks, pretty good game.
Very good game.
76ers Pacers, no thank you.
Nope.
Raptors Knicks is interesting because the Raptors still are trying to move their way up.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting there. Knicks still have to kind of hang around. Pelicans at Celtics, no thank you. Nets at Bucks, no thank you. Mavericks at Spurs.
No,
is Wemby playing? Probably not. Cooper flagged against Wemby. We don't even get that.
So, well, real quick there, because the Spurs have the 2 seed clinched.
Yes.
In theory, they have nothing to play for. But Victor Wembanyama is sitting there with how many games played now on the season? 63. So Victor Wembanyama, who's dealing with a rib injury, is questionable to play. He has some right. So this is the question: do the Spurs play Wembanyama, and they can't just like start him and immediately remove him because there's also like you have to play at least 20 minutes in those games to count. So he would have to play at least 20 minutes in each of the next 2 games, and hope that he doesn't further aggravate his injury to make him eligible for Defensive Player of the Year, all NBA teams. Or do the Spurs say, no, we need to make sure he's fully healthy for the playoffs? And the fact that we have to have that conversation is why this 65-game rule should be dead and buried forever, immediately.
Yeah, that's kind of wild because, like, Defensive Player of the Year is Wemby. It should be. Yeah. I was trying to look up, though, Cooper Flag made his amount. I wondered if he was anywhere close. He's got 68. And let's talk about that real quick. I feel like Dallas told Flag, all right, you need to go crazy these last few games and stamp your Rookie of the Year. Because, like, he was good, really good for most of the year. But, like, these last few games, are they just literally giving him the same score every time and maybe you go. And now he only hit at Phoenix, so maybe not. But he went 51, 45, and 25 in 3 straight games. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
no,
He was averaging 40 something a game over a 3-game stretch.
Yeah, I'm starting to understand why he was considered I'm going to say it, a generational prospect. Generational.
Yeah.
No, he's very, very good. Dallas though, they didn't have Anthony Davis, they didn't have Kyrie Irving. Oh, I traded Anthony Davis. Kyrie Irving's been out, so it really has been Cooper Flagg's team, and it's just like I think you're right. Like, hey, dude, go out there and just play your game, ball out.
Yeah.
And do your thing, and like he's been very impressive, and the fact that like him and Khan have had the rookie years that they've had, like I would love for those two to have just sustained success long term in the NBA.
Khan's gonna get screwed though, isn't he?
Yeah, but like you can't say that Cooper Flagg hasn't had a season worthy of Rookie of the Year.
No, but Khan's going to go down as one of the best rookie years ever to not win an MVP, not win a rookie.
Yeah, no, I'm going to look at once the regular season wraps up this weekend. I mean, I did a couple months ago, but like he probably will have the best rookie season to not win. Like probably Steph was the only comparable, because I think Tyreek Evans won Rookie of the Year instead of Steph. So that would probably be similar. But yeah, like across the board, Con Knipples have been very, very strong and would have been a Rookie of the Year really in any other year, except this one, which is unfortunate.
If Con plays in the last 2 games for the Hornets, which I assume he will, he'll finish with 81 games played. He missed 1 game all year. That's in this day and age in the NBA, that's pretty freaking good. Even the Melo Ball's played 70 for a guy that's been injured all of his career. 70 games, pretty good.
So it turns out that when the Hornets have their best players playing, all their games, they're a better team.
Weird how that works. Weird how that works.
I'd say so.
All right, let's move to the NHL.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's move to the NHL picture, because I want to get us moving here. I want to ask you this right now. I want you to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Ducks are winning right now. That's a good thing. I was going to ask you before I saw the Ducks were up 2-0 if the Ducks were going to miss the playoffs.
It honestly feels like they are doing everything in their absolute power to miss the playoffs. They have been an absolute train wreck of a team for the last 6 games. They're trying to just get any sort of juice that they can. It just nothing seems to be working. Tonight's a good start, but the problem is like I've seen them blow leads during this 6-game stretch, something that they weren't doing at all this season. I'm seeing them get down and just total inability to come back, which is something that they haven't done all season. Like they've been consistent, like comeback, like never out of any game, and then being able to just like, if up until I think a few weeks ago they were unbeaten when they had a lead after 2 periods, and then I think that they've been beaten 3 times in the last couple weeks when they've had a lead after 2 periods. So it's just everything is falling apart. Tonight is an absolute must win. They've had a good start, but if they lose tonight against San Jose at home, they are putting themselves in a very, very difficult position, because then they got to go on the road to finish the year. They got to go to Minnesota. They got to go to Nashville. It's going to be very, very tough. And it would be one of the biggest choke jobs in recent memory. Because like a couple weeks ago, man, you look at, all those hockey nerds that do, playoff probabilities, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this team was legitimately sitting at like a 99.6% chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I'm getting texts. I get promotional texts from the Ducks that are like, "Oh, pre-order your playoff tickets." I'm like, "Bitch, you better make the playoffs first before you send me texts saying, 'Oh, get your tickets.'" How about this?
I'm looking at
how about get that X next to your name first in the standings, and then you can send the promotional texts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Ridiculous.
looking at the Predators and the Kings are knocking on the door, and as you said, the
Yeah.
Ducks are at Nashville to finish the year.
Yeah.
Woo! Yes,
Yes.
you've got to win tonight. Have to win
Yes.
tonight.
Have to win. Have to win. Not only like obviously, a win tonight that helps you a ton. You pretty much eliminate any chance the Sharks have to do it. So that's just one less team that you have to be concerned about in the standings. But yeah, like and Nashville came to Anaheim a couple nights ago. Okay, good. You're hosting Nashville. This is a huge opportunity for you. Yeah, and you lose 5-0. And in maybe the most pathetic like effort where it's a scoreless game and then you give it 3 goals in the second period, one of which is shorthanded. Like this team is just it was a very, very bad time to have one of these streaks because they had a 9-game skid earlier this year, like back in December into January. They had one of these stretches, but then they got out of it with a 7-game winning streak. Great, and but the problem is they might not have an opportunity to go on another winning streak, which maybe would be in the postseason if they're not in the postseason.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
you got to get there first before you turn things around. So it's been real freaking dicey, and I hate that it is like coming down to the wire because it was looking like a sure thing really for months. And so they have to win tonight. They got to. That's it.
Yeah, good start, 2-0 against the Sharks. So rest of the playoff picture, Colorado clinched the 1, Dallas and Minnesota are in the West. If you look at the East, Carolina, Buffalo, Montreal, Tampa, and Pittsburgh are in. Boston looks like they're going to get in. And then it's Ottawa, Philly fighting with Detroit Islanders, Blue Jackets, Capital all bunched up. So we are going to have some meaningful hockey over the weekend to wrap up the playoff picture and get playoff hockey starting next week. By the time we come back, we'll be in like round 2, maybe even the final, maybe even the Eastern Western Conference Finals by the time May 5th gets here. But anyways, that's kind of a look at the NHL playoff picture.
I'm assuming that the St. Louis Blues losing at home to the Winnipeg Jets tonight probably means not officially, but yeah, it kind of feels like it, huh?
I mean, they have 8 potential points left. They're 6 behind the Predators. Predators win 1 more, and they're up 2-0 right now on Utah. Like that's pretty much going to do it.
How do we feel about the LA Kings having 19 regulation wins this year and being a point out of the playoffs?
Interesting, huh?
They've played 77 games. They've won 19 in regulation. And they are knocking on the door of a playoff spot. What type of system is this?
Yeah. Just get to overtime, baby. Just get to overtime. Just get to overtime and you're getting 82 points.
Yeah, and listen, like I understand like the Ducks are 8-0 in shootouts this year. They've had fantastic overtime success. So like the Ducks are definitely like they're the opposite of the Kings where they get to a ton of overtime games, but they're actually winning those games in overtime and shootouts where the Kings were losing them. So like I'm not want to talk, but like it's a ridiculous system in place. And the fact that like those teams could be, and there's so many teams in the West that have more losses than wins overall, and they're going to be in the playoffs. It's odd.
Blackhawks didn't make it again.
Which is weird because every other team that picked behind them in the Connor Bedard sweepstakes is in a postseason contention. So I don't understand what happened. I was told that it was Connor Bedard's league, that the Blackhawks were going to run everything. It was generational all around. Do you think they need to win another lottery or 3?
It's or 3. We'll find out. We'll find out soon what that lottery looks like. But the Blackhawks, second worst record in all of the National Hockey League. Vancouver. Boy, Vancouver was bad.
Yeah, no, Vancouver's a disaster. But like, also just on the Bedard front, real quick before we move on here, like Connor Bedard's been pretty decent. What, he's 70-something points for the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Macklin Celebrini's 19 years old and has 108 points.
That's generational.
Yeah, like Macklin Celebrini, I think, is who everyone thought Connor Bedard was going to be. Like all of the hype and everything going into that draft. Like I think they expected what we're currently seeing with Macklin Celebrini. And I think like we had all the Bedard hype, so like there was less talk around Celebrini, and he goes to San Jose, and it's not as big of a thing. But like he's a 19-year-old kid with 42 goals and 66 assists. Like he's a legitimate MVP candidate.
Yeah.
And taking a Sharks team that I think was behind Chicago in the rebuild timeline, and like San Jose is 3 points out of a playoff spot.
Meanwhile, the Blackhawks haven't been close in Bedard's 3 years.
Right. Not even a little bit close. So yeah. Tell me about that.
Connor McDavid's going to win the point title again. Nathan McKinnon looks like he's going to win the goals, and Connor McDavid is going to be the top assist guy. No surprises there. All right. Let's remember somebody. We got about 7 or 8 minutes left here. I want to remember somebody. I want to spend some time. This guy deserves some time. Let's remember Matt Kemp.
Oh, Matt Kemp. Yeah. I remember Matt Kemp.
Yeah, and I think all listeners will remember Matt Kemp because he only finished his career 6 years ago, 2020. He finished. So Matt Kemp played for 5 organizations. He was with 6 different seasons where he was with the team. So he was with the Dodgers twice. So 2006, 2014 Dodgers. Stayed in the NL West with the Padres.
Yep.
Went to the NL East and went to the Braves. Went back to the Dodgers in 2018. And then was a season with Cincinnati in 2019. And he finished his career in Colorado in 2020.
Yeah.
Matt Kemp,
Cincinnati was the only
300.
one I didn't remember there.
Yeah, I was going to look at his Cincinnati numbers because I don't remember a whole lot of the Cincinnati years either. Let's see here. He was traded along with Yasiel Puig, Alex Wood, and Kyle Farmer. Oh, okay. May 4th, he was released by the Reds. So he didn't even really – he got 60 at-bats with the Reds. That's why we don't remember it. But
20 games.
I want to remember Matt Kemp's really good years because he's a 3-time All-Star. He's a 2-time Gold Glove. He's a 2-time Silver Slugger. He won the Hank Aaron Award. He won the home run title in 2011 and the RBI title in 2011. And I mean, that was the Albert Pujols won it in 11, right?
No, 2011 was a controversial one. 2011 was Ryan Braun.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Where Ryan Braun was the MVP. And then a couple months after Ryan Braun won the MVP, there were some issues with his drug test.
Yes.
Yeah. So Ryan Braun got 20 of the 32 first place votes that year. But Matt Kemp, so that season, Matt Kemp had more homers, more RBI, more runs, more steals. He had a 39-40 season. He was 1 homer away from a 40-40 season. His OPS, he had a OPS behind Braun, but by like 0.008. It was 994 to 986. Also had a higher overall WAR than Ryan Braun. Ryan Braun also had a teammate, Prince Fielder, who finished 3rd in MVP voting that year. But despite all that, Matt Kemp did not win the MVP. And in hindsight, I think a lot of the voters would like a do-over for 2011.
Yeah.
Especially because of what transpired with Ryan Braun afterwards. That should have been, Matt Kemp, like across the board, more runs, more hits, more homers, more RBI, more steals, more walks, better on base percentage. That should have been his MVP.
Would you agree that Matt Kemp belongs in the Hall of Very Good? Or is he just Hall?
But so here's the thing. I don't think Ryan Braun is Hall of very good. Or sorry, not Ryan Braun. Matt Kemp. I don't think Matt Kemp is Hall of very good, but I also don't think he's Hall of decency. I think that there's a weird in between because, like, Matt Kemp for his career, he had one incredible year.
Yeah.
He had a couple very good years. And then the rest of his career, he was like, all right, yeah, he's okay. So, like, where does that land, right? Where, like, it's not Hall of very good, but, like, Hall of decency is like his Drupal Cabrera. He's Matt Kemp's better than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe it was listening. Like, what's the in between Hall of decency and Hall of very good? Because that's where I'd like to put Matt Kemp.
Just
yeah,
good.
like Matt Kemp, he had a couple pretty good years, but like only 1 year that was like, wow, like this is a superstar.
So I mean, just a Hall of good, decency, good, very good.
Hall of yeah,
good.
I'm probably overthinking it, but yeah, Hall of good, Hall of good. I'm very okay with that.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap up tonight's show. Maybe if you don't already, follow us on Twitter. No W on the end. Stupid Sports Show. It is Twitter. It's not X. Reminder: I will be on tomorrow. I don't know how much into next week. We'll make an announcement on Twitter. My Twitter Spaces with Aaron Ferguson, Breakfast and Brackets. We'll be back on tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central. So if college basketball is your thing, you can jump in there and join us again, 9 a.m. Central. Make sure you sign up for the Substack. That will be going on. That is not taking a 3-week break. So you'll get picks to your inbox every single day. We are up in 2026. We are up in April. So make sure you get signed up there. And if you missed it at the beginning of the show, we're taking a 3-week break. We will be back Tuesday, May 5th, 2026, as we get some R&R. We get some ideas for the show. And I guess at that point, we start getting ready for football, right?
Yeah. Will the schedule be out then? Or I think the schedule does get released in May.
It's like the 12th, 14th, somewhere around there. So it will be soon. I don't think it'll be out for the 5th. But, yeah, I mean, we'll be able to dissect the draft. Mm-hmm. I mean, we got a lot of things. We're going to be getting ready for football, even as early as May. That's crazy. I know it excites you.
I'm getting out of football mode because I was driving around today and I was thinking, who's the Arizona Cardinals' new coach?
That just randomly hit you?
Yeah. Well, I was just like, I don't know. I was like, I was listening to whatever and just thinking about some of the new coaching hires in the league. And I was like, wait a minute, who did the Cardinals hire? Who did the Cardinals hire?
I'm going to look because I don't remember.
You don't remember either, right?
Mike LaFleur.
Mike LaFleur. Yeah. And then who's going to be their quarterback this year? Because not Kyler Murray.
I don't know. Do you know this or?
No, I forgot. Like that's my point. Like that's how I know I'm getting out of football mode.
Current quarterback room features veterans.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
And Gardner Minshew.
Okay. So they just said, hey, you know what would be good? Rather than get, a starting quarterback, let's get the two most prominent backup quarterbacks of the last decade and just see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they got the number 3 pick, so they couldn't they go get Ty Simpson?
They're not going to take him third overall. I guess nothing's off the table, but I haven't seen any indication that they would take a quarterback that early. I think the Cardinals would do, if anything, the Cardinals would do like what the Giants did last year, where they would take, the best player available at 3, and then maybe they trade back into the first round late and get a Ty Simpson like the Giants did with Dart. I think that would probably make more sense because it's not like the Cardinals are a quarterback away. Like let's get real here.
No, they're not. Anyways, well, that should about do it. That should about do it for the show. We'll take a 3-week and we'll be back on the 5th of May. But Tim, enjoy your rest and relaxation for the next 3 weeks, and we'll see you on May 5th. But I'm going to see you Sunday.
Yep, I'll see you Sunday. Yeah, we have a date with our friend Skeeter to watch the Masters, and you know that he's going to have every single person that's going to be in contention. He's going to be like, I have the bet on them that I placed on Tuesday. I'm like, oh my, how do you always win? You always win.
He's eerily quiet. He's been eerily quiet today, for sure.
Yeah.
My guess is he's got the top 6 guys.
All of them. All of them together.
In poker, isn't that called the nuts?
Is that what that is? I'm not a poker guy, so
he's got the nuts.
No, you know, and it's funny because we even asked him like, oh, who are all the guys you're betting? Blah blah blah, and he gave a few names, but like, even still, it's gonna be Sunday. He's gonna be like, I have Kurt Kitayama at 200-1 that I bet. I was like,
yeah, bet him live after the first hole. Bet him live after the first hole. I saw his swing and I bet him live.
Yeah, he just does it, man. He does it. Yeah. So, but that'll be fun. I hope that our lineup goes 6 for 6 and that we can maybe have a mini sweat on Sunday just to make it extra.
All
fun.
6 of them top 30 tomorrow when the round's over. Bet.
Book it. Bet.
Right.
Bet, fam.
Send us out.
All right.
Send us out of here, dude.
All right. For Rodney Newpel, this is Tim Yogi Van Stratton. We'll see you in 3 weeks. Enjoy spring break. We'll be back in May with another edition of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. But until then, have a great night, everyone. See you guys.
See ya.
Step right up, dummies, and listen to the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth with Rodney Newpel and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.